and welcome to this analysis of the editorial that we are doing today from the Indian Express, 10th of January. This is the first editorial that we are going to discuss, the first editorial of the newspaper. And this is a sinking land. So before we start with this editorial, let me remind you that this is an exercise that we are doing daily and we are going to do it daily also, along with the understanding of the words that we come across, the difficult words that we come across in this particular article, and understanding the central idea, extracting the major point of the author, right? Whatever he has conveyed, that is what the exercise is all about. Our understanding of the passage, our understanding of the vocabulary that we come across in this passage, right? So this is going to help you actually enrich your vocabulary. And secondary, the second thing that it's going to do is to create your understanding of the articles, whatever you are reading, how you should be filtering the article and picking out all the cream, picking out all the important points that are conveyed by the author, right? So come on, let us put this to the work now. So the Indian Express, 10th January, the sinking land, Joshimat crisis points to the perils of not heeding the alarm bells, disrespecting of fragile regions, ecology. Yes, I put the main point here as it is given in the newspaper. So from this also, you should be able to understand what it is talking about is the perils. One thing is important. Second thing that is important is that not heeding the alarm bells, right? So not heeding the alarm bells means they are not focusing or heeding or even listening to the warnings that were given to them. Disrespecting a fragile region's ecology. Now, see, if it is disrespecting, so we get the meaning of the word fragile. Why? Because the region's ecology is harmed, it is in danger. So, something that is easily harmed, that is in danger, would become very delicate and fragile. Okay? Come on, let us see. The crisis unfolding in Joshimat speaks of the failure to respect the special and specific characteristics and idiosyncrasies of the fragile Himalayan mountain system while planning and executing developmental projects. So we get to understand two things here. One, when they plan the developmental projects, right? So what is executing? If there is a planning, there is an implementation also of those projects. But then this is a fragile Himalayan mountain system. Fragile is, as we're coming up with this word again. So fragile would be delicate, something that is very easily affected, right? But then idiosyncrasies, we don't need to know the meaning of this word right now. What we can understand is that the development projects, they are being planned, they are being executed, but they are being executed in the region where the Himalayan mountain system is very fragile. बस इतना समझना है हमें idiosyncrasy से कोई मतलब नहीं है right now. More than 600 houses in the Uttarakhand town have reportedly developed cracks, putting the lives of at least 3,000 people in danger. This is just the data that is given to show that what is happening, right? This is the point that the author has stated. Alarm bells had begun ringing about 5 decades back when the government constituted a committee under the chairmanship of the then Garhwal Commissioner Mahesh Chandra Mishra to investigate the cause of land subsidence in the area. Now, we don't know what is happening to the land in the area, right? We'll understand it from the paragraph only. Now, in its report submitted in 1976, the committee said that major construction work should not be undertaken in Joshimath because it is located on a moraine places where glacial debris accumulates. Subsequently, several studies flagged similar concerns, but these by and large went unheeded. Right? Now, see, if I break this paragraph into what has the author given here, so he has stated his point, the failure to respect the special and specific characteristics of this region, right? To failure that they are not paying heed to it. This was the major point that he gave. Then he comes up with the data. With the data, he says that see, 50 years back, there was a committee which had come up with such a caution, right? But then this was not heeded by the people. Many concerns were being raised. यहाँ पे फ्लैग्ड का मीनिंग आ जाएगा, राइट? इसका मतलब बहुत सारी वार्निंग्स दी गई, बड़े सारे कंसर्न्स थे, लोगों ने कहा भी, कमिटीज बिठाई गई, उन्होंने भी कहा, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट ने कोई ध्यान नहीं दिया, and what they did was they started with their developmental projects, planned it, implemented, right? So if you have this understanding of the paragraph, there's a point stated, there's a data given, and there's a background given again of what the matter is. Next paragraph, let's do. So Joshimath is on the path of devotees headed towards at least two other important shrines, Badrinath and Hemkund Sahib. Infrastructure development for such activities is not problematic if it respects the region's carrying capacity, right? So it is not problematic. पर जिस रीजन की जो कैपेसिटी होती है उसके हिसाब से अगर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स बनते हैं तो देन इट इज ओके. If you go beyond that capacity, then definitely the region is going to be affected. But in Joshimath, constructions have mushroomed on relatively loose soil, left behind by glacial and seismic activities in contravention of the Mishra Committee's recommendations. So, what did the Mishra Committee recommend? It had recommended that, see, they were giving us the warnings, no? Major construction works should not be undertaken. उन्होंने कहा था, पर उस पे ध्यान नहीं दिया. So here, constructions have mushroomed on relatively loose soil. So the soil is loose and there are many constructions going on. So we can understand the meaning of the word mushroomed as several. Right. The glacial and seismic activities in contravention of the Mishra Committee's recommendations. Contravention we can understand by saying, by understanding the point in the previous paragraph that Mishra Commission had come up with a warning, with a caution, but the people had not heeded to that warning. That means they were not bothered about it, or they did not regard it or consider it proper. उसके बावजूद उन्होंने constructions किए, right? So we can understand this word contravention also, that is going against it. Contra is against, right? So we can understand the meaning of this word. Now, located in a highly seismic zone, the town experiences regular tremors, making its topsoil highly unstable. Hydel power projects have also been guilty of disregarding and disrespecting the precautions advised by the Mishra panel. Several experts have blamed tunnel construction by the National Thermal Power Corporation's Tapovan Vishnugarh hydropower project. So all this is giving you about the projects which are creating a problem or which have created a problem. The NTPC has denied these charges, and the extent to which the corporation is responsible for the current crisis must be probed. Zyada investigation hona chahiye. But the fact also is that the Tapovan project has a history of upsetting the region's complex hydrogeology. Upsetting matlab pura उसे बिगाड़ देना, upset कर देना. As pointed out by this newspaper, tunneling by the power corporation punctured an aquifer in 2009. Okay, aquifer means where the water would go down, would permeate through the rocks and would collect underground, under the rock. So एक water body जैसे वो बन जाता है, accumulation of water हो जाता है. ठीक है, उस water aquifer को breach means it was broken, right? So it was punctured in 2009. So this is giving you the example plus the data. A year later, the current science article by Garhwal University scientists warned that this disruption could have long-term consequences for the region. The sudden and large-scale dewatering has the potential of initiating ground subsidence. Another aquifer breach was reported in 2012. So 2009 there was a breach. There was an aquifer was punctured. 2012 another aquifer was punctured. Now the word that is being used here is breach, and here it is used punctured. पंक्चर करना या ब्रीच करना इसका मतलब ब्रेक करना. तो एक्विफायर था उसे the water body was you can say it was punctured, that is the easiest word. पंक्चर था तो पूरा पानी जैसे स्प्रेड आउट हो गया. स्प्रेड आउट हो गया तो जो सॉइल था इट बिकेम क्वाइट लूज बिकॉज दैट वाज डीवाटरिंग. पूरा पानी स्प्रेड हो गया, right? So now this is this, if I consider this whole paragraph, second paragraph constitutes the reasoning of why they are saying that the development projects should not have been constructed in such a large number. ठीक है, तो वो रीजनिंग है कि ये जो कुछ भी हो रहा है इसकी वजह से जो लैंड है वो सबसाइड हो रहा है, राइट? Twice we have used, the author has used this word subsidency. I've highlighted it twice also. Right, so we can understand now in a general understanding from the passage that the soil is loose. It said relatively loose soil, and then the topsoil is highly unstable. Here you can understand it from these two phrases. You can say topsoil highly unstable and relatively loose soil. तो subsidence का meaning अपने आप समझ में आ जाएगा. So overall अभी तक ये समझे हैं that the construction projects, the infrastructure development projects are growing in such a number that it is dangerous for the people living there. It has become dangerous for the people living there. The reason it is that the soil is very fragile. The region is highly this unstable. It has unstable soil, and the reason for it is of why how this unstable soil was created is because of the puncturing of the aquifers 2009 2012 also. This is the recent one, but that the committee had given us this warning 50 years back, and this warning has gone unheeded. उसके बावजूद ये सब अभी बना रहे हैं, उसमें इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट कर रहे हैं, right? So these are two things here. Now, in August last year, a team of experts from IIT Roorkee, Geological Survey of India, Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology, Dehradun Central Building Research Institute, Roorkee, and the Uttarakhand Disaster Management Authority noticed signs of trouble cracks like those surfacing currently in Joshimath. Here, the word surfacing would mean coming up on the surface, that means being revealed or being seen. In other areas of Chamoli district, it blamed unscientific tourist activity, particularly resorts that have mushroomed along the Joshimath-Auli road, and recommended enhancing drainage facilities and controlling erosion along segments of the Alaknanda river north of Joshimath. The team's report may have come too late for residents of the beleaguered town. हमें beleaguered का meaning नहीं आता है. That's okay, fine. But we know now know that the people living in such a region which is being troubled by the infrastructure development, where the soil is so loose, right, which has been affected by the seismic and the glacial activities. तो उस रीजन में रहने वाले लोग या उस रीजन में जो भी टाउन्स एंड सिटीज हैं, will they be flourishing, will they be prospering, or will they be suffering a little, right? So beleaguered town will be the town that is where the people are suffering, or the town that is being affected by all this, right? So this has come late for the people because already the warnings were given there that were going unheeded. तो अभी जो रिपोर्ट गई है उसमें ब्लेम किया गया है किसे, अनसाइंटिफिक टूरिस्ट एक्टिविटी को. इट्स ओके, बट दिस इज अ स्टेप दैट दे हैव सजेस्टेड, राइट? ओके, दैट इज आल्सो फाइन, बट व्हाट इज द यूज? It is of no use right now because the warnings that had earlier been given had gone unheeded. Had they been taken care of, तो ये वाला सिचुएशन जो है अभी ऐसा इस लेवल तक नहीं पहुंचते, right? So the recommended enhancing drainage facilities and controlling erosion along segments of the Alaknanda River north of Joshimath. The team's report may have come too late for residents of the beleaguered town. मतलब अब इतना लेट है कि कुछ नहीं किया जा सकता. The center and state government are rightly giving top priority to the safety of the Joshimath's residents. Center has also asked scientists from the National Disaster Management Authority, Geological Survey of India, National Institute of Hydrology to develop a risk-sensitive urban developmental plan. They could begin by revisiting the earlier studies on the region's ecology. This word revisiting is again suggesting the same point that 50 years back there were warnings given, the alarm bells were ringing, but they went unheeded. So understand now, if thrice or four times the author has mentioned warning, alarm bells, unheeded, no use, too late, इसका मतलब क्या था कि जब वार्निंग दी गई थी तभी उन्हें ध्यान में रखना चाहिए था इन चीजों को, और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट उस हिसाब से करना चाहिए था, राइट? बट नाउ after so many years also, if now they are paying attention and top priority is given to the saving of the residents there, and then a plan is being called or to be made on the regions नहीं regions ecology नहीं urban development plan. ठीक है, अब बनाने के लिए they are coming up with a committee, right? So I hope you have understood this article a little better than if you had read it earlier on your own. Another thing that I tell you is that we do not need to know the meanings of the words, the literal meanings of the words when we are reading the passage. These words do not come isolated. You can understand the meaning if you can understand the rest of the words. Right. So now, if you come back to that point here in the first line also, so what are the idiosyncrasies then? Right. So failure to respect the special and specific characteristics and idiosyncrasies of the fragile Himalayan mountain system. तो fragile Himalayan mountain system की idiosyncrasies. इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? But it was not working or it is not as a proper thing, right? So idiosyncrasies, the shortcut for it is like you can use the word idiot and crazy इसके लिए crazy use कर लो. So somebody who is an idiot plus a crazy person. So idiosin crazy. Okay, now you can understand the meaning. He's an idiot, he's a crazy person also. So limit से बाहर ही है वो. इसका मतलब you can't predict what he's going to do. You can't even gauge or estimate what he's going to do. तो वो idiosyncratic है. जैसे ना सनकी होता है, eccentric बोल सकते हैं हम उसको. ठीक है, बड़ा whimsical सा होता है, वो चेंज हो जाता है, पता ही नहीं है कि कब क्या कैसे बिहेव करेगा. Right, the rest of the words also we can understand. See, if it is a moraine place, right, so it is given here glacial debris accumulates. तो ऐसी places जहाँ पे ये सब glacial the wreck is accumulating, so it will not be very solid. No, it will not be concrete, it will still be a little liquid only there, like watery sort of, क्योंकि वो glacial है और इसीलिए वो loose sand था. Come on, I'll come up with the words now. Here, I've jotted down a few words from this article only. So you need to write these words and don't take a screenshot only. Right? Write down these words in your notebook. Understand the usage of the words. Right? And you don't need to just cram these words. यही words आगे कहीं ना कहीं तुम्हें मिल जाएंगे. So be normal. Don't take them as a burden. But yes, you need to jot down because you will be using them somewhere. So idiosyncrasies are the habits, the peculiarities, the eccentricities. Fragile, as we said earlier, delicate, flimsy, and insubstantial. Now, when I use the word insubstantial, I can use the word fragile with an argument. Fragile reasoning, fragile arguments. That means his arguments were not backed up with a very strong logic or on very strong grounds. No, his argument was very fragile. मतलब एक counter argument देके इसकी बात को आसानी से negate किया जा सकता है, right? So that becomes a fragile argument. Executing is who is an executioner, somebody who is carrying out the work, the plan that is being made and drafted. It is being implemented now, so that is called to execute the plan. ठीक है, अभी सिर्फ हमने सोच रखा है कि हाँ ये करेंगे, ऐसा करेंगे, डिसीजन ले लिया है, प्लान बना दिया है, लेकिन उसे एग्जीक्यूट भी करना पड़ेगा ना. दैट इज द पॉइंट. So you need to perform, you need to implement, you need to accomplish. Subsidence, as we saw throughout the passage, it was like going down, falling and sinking. If you remember, the prefix sub means under. लेवल से नीचे सब होता है, लेवल से ऊपर सुपर होता है. So subcategory, subdivision, subterranean, submarine. You can understand these words, no? Now, moraine, we had done in the paragraph only. It was related to the residue, to the debris. Was another glacial debris. So that is the same as moraine. So this is now see these two words are almost similar, no? So it is debris, wreckage, remains, and rubble. जो भी कुछ बच जाता है, इसीलिए वो residue भी आया है उसका meaning. ठीक है, तो जो भी wreck होता है, कोई bridge collapse हो जाती है, and whatever is left is called the remains then. That is the rubble. Flagged. They flagged concern. Right, it was given there. See, here. Subsequently, several studies flagged similar concerns, but these by and large went unheeded. तो several studies ने इस बात को उठाया, इस बात पे इंडिकेशन दिया. That is called flagged. Flag यानी ऐसे झंडा लेके खड़े हो जाना. तो सिग्नल होता है. Flag का मीनिंग सिग्नल हो गया. Flag का मीनिंग हो गया मार्क करना. Here it is, mark, signal. But then flag has another meaning, that is to fade or to decline. His energy flagged. After a 4-hour trek or a 5-hour marathon, his energy flagged. After reading 5 articles, your concentration flagged. और halfway through this article, your concentration flagged. इसका मतलब होता है खत्म होना, कम हो जाना, डिक्लाइन पे जाना, राइट? एनर्जी से रिलेटेड करेंगे तो टू बी एग्जॉस्टेड, टू बी डी एनर्जाइज्ड, टू बी एनर्वेटेड बिकम्स फ्लैगिंग, राइट? फ्लैगिंग, सैपिंग बोल सकते हैं, एनर्वेटेड बोल सकते हैं. So it is reducing. This downward arrow will be the flag. And another use that is given here in this paragraph is about marking, that is indicating, right? Unheeded, we can understand it. We read it 4 times or 3 times at least. Unheeded, not bothering about something, not taking care, or not being concerned about it. So not to pay attention to, ये easy हो जाता है, ignoring हो जाएगा. Mushroom is to grow in large numbers. We could understand. To burgeon or to flourish, ये मशरूमिंग होता है, mainly large numbers होता है. Here, the constructions have mushroomed on relatively loose soil. तो constructions इतनी सारी थी ना. He had said that, see, it is not a problem. It should only be according to the capacity of that region. But then there were so many things coming up. So that is mushroom in large numbers. Seismic is connected to earthquake. This you'll read related to earthquake only. Contravention, we can understand the word contra or veen, yani in coming in between, vent is to turn. So contravention is to disobey. Beleaguered is to be troubled or the suffering state. We read just here. Residents of the beleaguered town. So beleaguered ka matlab the town that was suffering. Right? So I hope you have understood what to do and how to read, how to come up with the words, how to understand the words. I hope you jot down the words and you have understood how to extract the central idea. At least this is an exercise that we'll be doing daily. And before we do this, you kindly go through the article on your own also. So thank you. That's all for today. Have a logical day.